So this is my assignment for this week is to create a NoSQL backend for a social network app. It's something in the class, something like Facebook, but this is not strictly. It does not have all the things that Facebook has. So this is an app for social network. It uses NoSQL database so that my website can handle large unstructured data. And this is the kind of data. This is the kind of data management that was used on websites like Facebook. So I'm going to create the backend, and I'm going to do the CRUD. I'm going to do a get request. I'll be able to add friends. I'll be able to add user. I'll be able to the users can put their thought, and then the users can also add friends. So this consists in business model, which is controllers, which is the business logic. So this is a thought controller. The thought controller brings in the user and the thought, and then it exports it to be available in all parts of the project, on all part of the app. So this is to get all thoughts, make all thoughts to get thought by ID, just to get a single thought. To create a new thought, so this is a post method. Create a new thought is a post method, and this is where we update a thought, which is like a put. We update a thought by ID, which is like a put method. So we have the same controller as well, user controller, which helps us to create user and also add friends. To add friend. In the model, we have the tables. So this is the thought table kind of. But this is not MySQL. This is MongoDB. So this is for reaction schema. So these are kind of the table, the characteristics of the objects that we're going to create. We have the same thing for user as well. This is the user model, which also um, characterizes the characteristics of the user. Characterizes the user that we're going to use. So this is to define the user field, find the email field, because the email is going to be validated when during registration. It's gonna check to see that the email is valid here. It uses what's it called again? Well, this is where it validates the email. I've forgotten that word now. So this is where we define the thoughts. And we'll put it in an array when we add a thought, when we post a thought. So this is the routes, API route. This is where it's gonna be adding, be doing what we want it to do. It's gonna use this route to create tout or to get tout or to. So this is the route it uses from when we executing server. It uses this route to when we're executing the server. Uses that it gets to the index, all the indexes of each of the sections. So this server will to console the index, and this index here in routes will console the index in. So the index in routes, it will, because we have already brought in the router. The API, so it will console the API to go into the API to console the index. So from the index, it's going to have all the the thought route and the user route available, which we've made here. which you can see this is the index inside the API. Same thing goes to when it goes to model, no, when it goes to where again? I think that's it. So this is the connection, the config. This is going to be part of this is the database. When it connects to the database to create the objects, or to create our database. We're not going to use seed here, any seed here. We're going to be creating the seed as we go. So if we want to execute it, we have to click on server, right click, and open it in integrated terminal. And then the instruction that we use to do this is node server.js is for to execute it, and then we wait for it to execute. Now it says it's listening on port, or the server is running on port 301. So it's running. This is server.js. So it's running on this port 301, and it is listening. API server is running on the port. So now we go to the Insomnia. In Insomnia, we can get all users. I've already created it. So if we want to see all users, first of all, we can create a new user. So let's create a new user. So we can create a new user. I'm doing a post request. When we want to create a new user, we're gonna have a JSON object. So and the user you're gonna want to put it's gonna ask for user name and user address. User name and user email address. So I can put Obiora here as one of the user. Obiora is here, so. And then my email is gonna be oblasasl@gmail.com. gmail.com, and then it's going to be a post request. So now we've created the JSON object. So if we send it, we're going to see it, whether it creates the user or not. So now it says the user has been created and he has been assigned a unique ID. Has no friends, he has no thoughts yet. Friend count is 0. So now if we want to see all the users, we go to get user. So a get user is going to be a get request. You see Obiora is not included here yet. So if we if we use this API user route, we can send, and then we'll see that it has updated. We see that the Obiora is down here at the bottom. So Obiora is down here at the bottom. Okay. We can decide to add a friend to Obiora, for example. So if we decide to add a friend to Obiora, we can decide that we want to make Harrison to be Obiora's friend. So what we can do is that we're going to copy Harrison's ID as my friend, and I'm going to copy Obiora ID, unique ID as the user. So if we go to create add friend, which is I've created already the root, but I have to now copy the user ID of Harrison and the user ID of Obi. So it's gonna be here in the first one. We're gonna put the user, the person who's gonna accept the friend, and then the friend is gonna be the last ID. So if we go to get all users, and we can copy the unique ID of Obiora. Interesting. We go to add friend. we put it here. Control V. Hopefully we got it all right. So it starts with 65, ends with 99. Let's see if it's right. Get all user. So with 65, ends with 99. Looks correct. So now we copy the unique ID of Harrison, which is this one. So it starts with 65 to ends with 99. Control C. So we'll go to add a friend again. So we know what we're going to add it here. So we delete this user ID and put the Harrison's unique ID. So it ends with 69. So I suppose we have Harrison now. It doesn't need a JSON body because it's just adding a friend which already exists. So if we do a post request, because you're going to post a friend. So if we do a post, if we send, now Obiora is a username and he has this Harrison. He has a friend now. And this friend has the ID, and this ID is Harrison's ID. So now the friend count is 1 because he has a friend. You can also add thought to Obiora. I can add a thought to Obiora so that because now the thought is empty. This is the array for the thought is empty. So in order to add the thought, we can we use function to post thought. So if we're going to post thought, it's going to have a JSON object. It's going to have a JSON object. So we're going to need the user ID who's creating the thought and probably the name of the user so that everything syncs together. So let's say that we want to create a thought for Obiora. So with only the ID, we should be able to create the thought, with only the ID. But the field request, we put a username. So we put a username, we put Obiora is there, so that when we get on all the thoughts, we know who the thought belongs to anyway. So if we go to the all users, we can copy the ID of Obiora again, which is this one. Control C, and then we have to go to we go back to where we're creating thoughts, and we add the user ID here. Control V. So supposing we have everything right now, we can post a thought. We can create a thought so that Obiora also can have a thought added to him. So there is that Obiora also has a thought now. This is the thought here. So we can get all thought. If we want to get all thought, we can just say can get all thoughts so that we can see who has thoughts. So if we have all thoughts, we send. It's gonna be a get request. So we don't need just somebody. If we send it, we can see all the thoughts. So this is the thought on Obiora. Say what's on your mind. Obiora. So was created on the 14th of March, which is this morning at 5:16 a.m. right now. So and when it's done, we can decide to delete this thought. How can we delete this thought? So to delete a thought, I think we're going to need to have. Let's say we want to delete Harrison's thought because Harrison has a thought here. Or let's delete Obiora's thought. Let's delete Obiora's thought. So we're going to copy the ID of Obiora, the ID of the thought. This is the ID of the thought. This is the ID of the thought, not the ID of Obiora. But this is a particular thought that we want to delete. So we go to get all thoughts. We have to do get all thoughts. And then we copy the ID of the thought that we want to delete. We go to go to delete thought. So delete thought is going to request for the email address it's going to request for the ID. of the particular thought we want to delete. And also the user we want to delete his thought, the user to whom it belongs. So I can say, if I go to get all user, which these are what I've saved here, searches which I've saved, then I can I can copy this. Oh, that's a user ID. Okay. So this is get all users. I'll copy this one. I'm gonna have to check, make sure that I'm not duplicating this. Control C. I'm going to add it to delete thoughts as user in delete thought. So it's gonna be the user here. Control V. So this one starts with it might not be right. So we can go and get all thoughts so that we can make sure that because the thought should have all thought. This is get all thought, right? So thought should really have ID, but looks like okay. This is 28811 AA. I'll check. Control C. So this is a thought. Let me go back to deleted thought. So yeah, this has a unique ID. The thought has a unique ID. Control V. Okay, I believe it has a unique ID. So if we send it, we should delete the thought that Obiora has, that unique thought. So we do a delete request. Wrong route, it says. Anyway, it looks like this one did not work. Something is wrong with it. Okay, we'll do a different one. We want to get a single thought. Okay, we want to get a single thought. Or let's want to get a single thought. If we want to get a single thought, we can decide, okay, we want to get that thought that Obiора's thought if it is not deleted. So that's what we're gonna add here. The ID of that thought. Supposing it's still in the memory. So we want to get our Obiора's thought if it's still there. So we got the Obiора's thought. That's a single thought. Say what's in your mind. So it looks like we cannot delete this thing by ID, or probably my route is wrong. The route I've taken. Okay, so we can update a thought as well. If we want to update this thought, we can we have to select all thoughts, and then we want to see the one we want to update. So if we want to see all thoughts, so we get all thoughts, and we send all thoughts, so that we have three thoughts. But I want to modify this one. Which means uh, I can say it's going to be put. It's going to go to put request, put thought, put. So we're going to say the thought is what we're going to do. Update thought. Let's go back to get all thoughts. So we're going to copy. We're going to copy this, the JSON object. Control C, and we're going to go to update thoughts. Control V, and then we can say we want to update Obiора's thoughts, or we just copy Obiора's thought at the same time, just update it. So we go to get all thoughts, we copy Obiора's thoughts, which is it's all the same anyway. Just have to change the user name, the user. Just have to add the user ID, so it knows which thought we want to modify. Control C. Go to update thought. We want to change the start of. It should really have an ID. Thought should really have ID. Control V. So we can say, whose thought is that? Obiora. Should be able to modify it by ID. Obiora is there, so. And you say this is a cool thing to say. See, this is a cool thing to say. And then let's see if it modifies our thoughts. It's wrong route because I know it's supposed to have supposed to use user email. It's supposed to use have a thought there's supposed to be a thought ID, a unique ID for thoughts. So let's see all the thoughts that were created. So when we get all thoughts, we have a unique ID. This unique ID is it. This should be for the thought, not for the user. You know. So probably not doing it right. Anyway, we can get a single user by ID. We can add friend. We can delete friend as well. So anyway, this is a project here, and it needs a bit of improvement, or I need to explore the cron method on Insomnia more. This is where I get all users. You can see them here. This is where I get a single user by ID. The ID is here. The single user is here with the same ID. This is where I create a new user. When you create a new user, you need to have um username and user email, and then it has to be post request, and then it allows you to create a user. And this is where we add friend. We're adding friends, we don't need a JSON object. We just put the unique ID of the user that wants to add friend here, and the unique ID of the friend that is going to be his friend here. And when we do the post request, we'll assign a friend to a user. So same thing when we create thoughts, or when we get all thoughts, or when we get a single thought. So always look at the route here. My route for delete and update is not working correctly, or so I'm gonna have to explore that further. Well, so thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one.